Hey guys, it's Peter here, and I wanted to post a follow-up to my last video where I was just off in Amsterdam on a 4-day advanced tantric workshop and temple, and really just give you a bit of a follow-up because I had quite a few questions regarding that, and just delve a little bit more into what I believe Tantra is about and what it is for me, etc., and why I was there specifically. So, as I gave a little bit of an intro in my last video, Napoleon Hill in his book Think and Grow Rich in chapter 11 talks a lot about sex energy transmutation. And what I see in today's world, especially with the younger generation that have essentially grown up thinking porn is normal because of it's so freely available, there's very little connection to the higher levels of consciousness around sex and sexuality. Everybody's either out for their own gain, they're in for short-term connection, or they're to defend and attack a certain position sexually and use that as a way to validate where they think they're at. And all of that stuff and noise that's getting caught up in the mainstream media. So for me personally, if you equate it to levels of consciousness, which I often do, as you know, through Power versus Force, one has to understand that the sex hormones are the most innate drivers of human behavior that we know of. They will literally override the prefrontal cortex. They'll override logic, which is why many marriages have been broken up by people doing things that didn't make sense at the time, but they felt compelled to do physically. And you have a look at things like wars being started historically, Helen of Troy being a great example. So, we can either be played by that sexual energy, which is an innate part of being human, or we can learn how to channel it and control it. It's like a wild horse. If you don't learn how to control and tame it, it's going to be a problem. If you learn how to work with it, you can get an incredible amount of joy and satisfaction out of that particular relationship. So Tantra for me is about understanding how to harness that energy for the greater good. It's all about, in traditional sex, most people, it's about physicality. It's about the act. For Tantra, it's about the connection. It's about the energy. So, learning how to move that, because we all have tremendous, incredible sex energy if our biochemistry is healthy. Taking that base chakra, that energy that creates human beings, and being able to express that in a way that increases your creativity, not your short-term connection. Being able to channel that in a way that increases drive, not being able to fall asleep after sex. Being able to use that as a way to build a business, being able to use that as a way to lead an army, being able to use that as a way to be able to go past your limits, rather than give into short-term, low-level connections, as I said, or talk yourself out of it. Or for men, to realize that sexual maturity begins with realizing it's not about your orgasm. So, and I think I talk about that in one of my Straight Talks, Straight Talk 10, I believe. So yes, understanding sex energy and learning how to use that for a higher purpose. Again, at lower levels of consciousness, it's more lust-based. At higher levels of consciousness, it's more love-based. Very similar to money. At lower levels of consciousness, people feel money is something to chase, to get, to acquire, so that they can get more stuff for themselves. At higher levels of understanding, you realize that money is nothing more than a consequence or a measurement of the value that you're adding. It's a complete ethnocentric focus, not an egocentric focus. It's the same again with sexual maturity. So, if you have any questions, I'm happy for you to put them in the chat. If you want a little bit more detail, feel free to go read the inside track. Incidentally, if you've not read that yet, guys, or listen to it on audio or download it on Kindle, whatever, please, go check out any of the reviews. I'm very touched and very humbled by the realness of the reviews on any Amazon platform, from the US to the UK to Germany to South Africa to Australia. Go check out the reviews on the inside track, and it's changed the lives of virtually everybody that's read it. Again, shameless book plug in the middle of a Tantra video there, but there you are. And for those interested in what I'm actually up to, because I've been a little quiet recently, I just wanted to share this video and say that I've been working on my latest project. I did allude to it a little bit ago for those of you who've been keeping up to speed with my videos. And it's a new program called the Stress Proof Professional. And it's really something that was born out of me seeing so much misery because people don't understand the difference between a life-chasing success and a life-chasing fulfillment. And it's really to my tribe, the entrepreneurs out there. We're talking about the typical CEO, high-level exec, senior VP, co-founder, founder, executive who's stressed out, burnt out, borderline depressed, staring at the ceiling at 3 a.m., emotionally unavailable, doesn't have the energy for sex because they're so driven by chasing a rabbit that they just can't catch, not understanding that there is never a finish point. Have you not figured that out yet? There is only an okay now point. And the biggest problem most people have is that they make the okay point at the finish point, which is why they never get there. Let's not complicate it. But I've got a whole new program coming out called the Stress Proof Professional. If you fit the target market, you want to take a little look, go have a look at stressproofprofessional.com. You can have a little sign up there and I'll give you some free information and tips. Other than that, we also have the Elite Mentorship Forum, my famous 6-month personal coaching program. That's a group online program with upgraded peer group. EMF 6 is going to be launching in a few weeks. Stay tuned for some info on that. And after much, requests, I'm officially going to be announcing very soon the dates for the final, last ever Sage Business School that's going to be happening in September in Krakow, the historical city there in Poland. So a lot to come up. And again, I've just been really, another reason I went to the Tantra course is to recenter my energy here for what's coming up, which is going to be a busy rest of the year. So there we have. If you've got any questions around sex, sexuality, and Tantra, in specifically, I'm very happy to address that. And or any personal questions, I'm happy to address. Put them in the chat below. If you are interested in the Stress Proof Professional, go check it out. If you've not read the inside track, go get it. I think it's like $7 on Kindle. Change your life for $7. Come on, guys. And other than that, I thank you so much for being in my sphere of influence. I love being able to share the information with you. Can't wait to see what the rest of the year is going to unfold for us all. And I'm here to be able to give as much insight, as much wisdom, and as much knowledge from my side as I can to you guys to remind you ultimately of one thing. And that is that, I'm simply a mirror being held up to show you your own greatness so that together we can move forward and make the world a better place. All right, guys, I love you, and stay tuned for some more videos.